What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video review. Today we're going to take a look at Professor Hulk from Avengers Endgame, and you can order this figure at bigbadtoystore.com. I'll put the link down below, and also for other, hot toys and any other collectibles that you might want. $4 shipping, and you can use their pile of loot. So this is an item that wasn't on my radar because I do have the Age of Ultron Hulk, but I always wanted to complete the Endgame line, and I'm only a few figures away, I would say, on doing so, and I might regret it, but hey, it's the perfect time to buy these Endgame figures because they are fairly cheap. Speaking to this Hulk right here, the retail is a bit high, but if you look further, like on BSTs and whatnot, trades, whatever the case is, people are unloading this figure as well. Not your preferred Hulk by any stretch, but a good representation of the character, especially from the movie that I do love. Let's take a look at this guy. So it does come with decent amount of accessories. The gauntlet, as you can see there's two of them, the nano gauntlet, and you have this tablet as well. By decent amount, I mean by comparison to other Hulk. Outside of the Gladiator Hulk, most Hulk doesn't really come with anything, just hands, and rightfully so. They don't have any accessories whatsoever. So let's take a look at this. It does have a lot of things in here, and on the armpits, keep in mind it does have that foam inserts to avoid touching the fabric, because if you leave it, the fabric is kind of like rubbery material that if you leave them for a long time, let's say you're not gonna touch it, that might stick to each other. So I have to go back and actually pick that up, because these figures, I have so many, sometimes I do forget that these things are touching certain aspects of the figure and ruining it over time if you're not careful. So let's take a look at the accessories here. The hands, they got two open palm hands, kind of like grabbing hands, so to speak. You also have this Professor Hulk beautiful glasses that you could use, depending on what your mood is for Hulk. It is quite large because he does have a bigger head, and this tablet that shows the nano gauntlet as well that he wore, so that is pretty cool as well. I'm just calling this an iPad. It does not have anything on the back, but it fits perfectly when you have it holding on the open palm hands, and you get two types of nano gauntlet, which is pretty cool. One of them is this guy who's kind of still transforming. So as you can see here, there's panels that are not completely engaged yet, so it's kind of like in the middle, which is a nice touch. Like, they could have not included this. And also articulated fingers. I think they know that this Hulk is not gonna be as popular, so they tried to put as much as possible. And it's not Hot Toys' fault. The design of the Hulk is just based off the movie. Unfortunately, it just came out like that. And now you got the snapping finger or gauntlet here, which looks pretty amazing if you ask me. You could use it a few times, but I wouldn't suggest you leave your figure in that pose for a long time, and I'll explain why. You probably already do know why. And it does come with this beautiful base. It's quite large. I wish it would have had that Venom type base, to be quite honest with you. And now the body of this Hulk, like the overall costume, it is interesting design. Not Hot Toys' fault by any stretch. He's wearing a onesie, and it's kind of stretchy. I'm wondering if there's an actual body. By actual, I mean sculpted, because I do have the Age of Ultron Hulk, and that is pretty good. I wonder if there's a body underneath this that is actually nice, that you can salvage this. I'm not a big fan of this look, and I don't think a lot of people are, nor there's anyone who is, for that matter. Look at this. It is kind of short on the wrist here, so even if you pull it down, I mean, you gotta position it nicely, I suppose. But there's a lot of things to be desired about this outfit. Honestly, he looks like a Teletubby. I've heard a lot of things, and one of the main points here is this as well. I just got this literally when I shot this, and the foot peg is kind of inserted inside this bodysuit that he does have, which is kind of rubbery. I feel like it's putting stress into the figure or the suit itself whenever you bend the figure. And we all know that. The problem is the foot is inserted all the way in, so I don't know. It's who knows how long this figure is gonna last. And on the back, there seems to be a zipper, but really there is no zipper. So I was interested to see if you could, I don't know if anyone already did, if you could remove this outfit and just make him Hulk. Buy third-party pants or something like that, so you could, because this also restricts any movement left for Hulk. And you can see that is unsightly right there. That shortage on the sleeves going down here. It is decent, but yeah, not the preferred look for Hulk. If there's any consolation for this figure, it's the head sculpt. As you can see here, this is the best head sculpt of Hulk to date. I've held the Avengers Hulk. I never had the Gladiator Hulk, because I do have, still up to this day, the Age of Ultron Hulk, which is, in my opinion, the best Hulk, because it comes with two torso if you get the deluxe version, and you get an angry face and a non-angry face. But this head sculpt right here is the closest to Mark Ruffalo. The two other Hulks are closer to Hulk, if that makes any sense, to the character Hulk. But this one does have the resemblance of Mark Ruffalo, in my opinion. I don't know if the first two are accurate. I didn't even bother, looking at those older films. But if there's any saving grace, this would be it. Now, could you insert this head sculpt into that Hulk? Maybe, but the green tone is different. So, yeah, I wouldn't even attempt. But you can see there's a lot of details in this head sculpt. He does have some gray hair on the side. He's aging. See that stubble on his face, like the shadow. You can even see pores on his face. So the attention to detail is amazing. And one thing too on that Hulk is that it does have purse, which this one does not have, which is, unfortunate, because this is the highlight basically of this figure, is this beautiful portrait of Mark Ruffalo with this Hulk. The representation is just spot on. Articulation or lack thereof. Hulk itself is, doesn't have a lot of articulation, but everything's ratcheted here. I didn't capture the audio. I thought I did. Apparently it was off. But everything is ratcheted from the shoulders to the elbows. This is as tight as you would go. And then the more you fold it, the more the suit goes up, obviously, because it's going to bunch up on the elbows. It is a two-piece suit. But still, and this is what I'm talking about. That, look at that. That it already has some mark, and I just literally got this figure. It is, I feel like that is going to get damaged so bad over time. Even if you don't move it, it's just rubbing off. And you can see here, you can move the legs, also ratcheted joints, but since it's a bad combination. Material of the suit, how tight it is, and just the overall non-mobility of the figure, just a terrible combination compared to whatever you want to say about Age of Ultron Hulk. It does this spandex pants or whatever. It still moves because it's not too tight. Plus, it's not made out of rubber. But hey, it is what it is at this point. This is the available Hulk that's in here. So let's put him on some poses here before we wrap this thing up. Here he is just holding his tablet. As you can see, it just fits perfectly, and he has some massive hands. And I'm guessing this is like an iPad Pro that just is nothing to him. You can have him hold it now with the glasses. It's a different look. Definitely a different variation of Hulk that we all, been accustomed to. But something that we saw on Endgame, which is, that's what he's representing here. I guess it's easier for me to take this because I do have the Age of Ultron Hulk. Maybe that's why I'm not as upset, and I understand. But if I didn't, I probably would be a little upset as well. That, hey, give us the 2012 because he appeared on that scene. And here he is with the open gauntlet. I chose this pose because I can't really raise his hands the way you want to. Because the shoulder issue and the elbow issue. You can't fold his elbows like 90 degrees like a normal figure. Combination of things. It's not double jointed elbows. They used probably the old Hulk body, like I said. Even though it's smaller though. This Hulk is a lot smaller than the other Hulk. So could they have done a double jointed elbow? I'm probably not because of the size. But the joints are hidden, so that could have done. They could have made it happen, but yeah, I don't know. There's just, you can't see the shortness of his sleeves here because he's wearing a gauntlet, but still, the light is actually on the gauntlet. So, I didn't even show you the how you insert the battery, but that's another scary thing because it's just made out of like plastic. I don't know why they went that route, like a soft plastic. But hey, here he is with the snapping pose, which you could raise. As you can see, you could raise the elbows and the shoulders to achieve this look, but you can see it bunching up on the shoulders. It's badly. It is a scary proposition to do this, knowing that I just got this figure and I can potentially be ruining it right now. But hey, it's for the posing. So there you go. Looks pretty good, especially with that snapping pose. So it is, again, the lights are on. You might not notice it, but there's not a whole lot of light shining into him, to be quite honest with you. And here he is, this size comparison wise, with the Hot Toys Bruce Banner as well from the first Avenger. This one has kind of aged a little bit, by a lot, not a little bit, but hey, it's the only Bruce Banner that we do have, so I will take it. And right next to Hulk, it looks pretty decent. Obviously Hulk is gonna be much larger, but not large enough. Not large enough, and you'll see what I was talking about here. When we put him right next to other figures as well, especially with this Age of Ultron Hulk. I just appreciated this Hulk so much better now, right next to Professor Hulk. And I'm gonna do a separate video for a comparison between the two, but I never really paid much attention to this Hulk, to be quite honest with you. I've had him for 7-8 years now, and he's just sitting there. Had to pull him out, and standing side by side, I appreciate him so much better now. Right next to Professor Hulk. Don't get me wrong, Professor Hulk looks great as well, right next to these guys that he is with. The Trinity, so to speak. If you have a display going on, with Cap and Thor, and they look great. They just look great together, and it would work. That's the main reason why I bought him for bought him in the first place, is to pair him up with one of the best, I would say, series 10-year run of all time, which is the Marvel Saga. And I've vowed that I'm gonna get pretty much every Endgame figure. So my final thoughts on Professor Hulk is that he's not a must-have, especially if you have a Hulk in your collection. But if you know where to look and the price is dropping, why not, right? Because what is your other option here? Is to get the Avengers Hulk or the Age of Ultron Hulk, or the Gladiator Hulk, which is not a representation of traditional Hulk in the first place. Would he be a good filler? Sure, especially that most Avengers Endgame figures are still around. Why not if you don't have any Hulk yet? You can just, I guess, fool yourself that this is just a regular Hulk, even though it's not. However, at the end of the day, he's representing what he was in the movie, which is, unfortunately kind of lame. But if you can get him for the right price, I would say go for it. This figure is not perfect. It has a lot of shortcomings. It might even aggravate you to a certain level, to a certain degree. But if you're out of option, if your only option is to overpay for one of those Hulks, are they going to make the 2012 Hulk? Because he made an appearance on Avengers Endgame. I highly doubt it at this point, because Marvel is pretty much dead in hot toys. They're overstocked. They're barely selling. They're discounted. So why would they, invest one more to get that Hulk? So I highly doubt it. You can wait. Maybe the price would drop more, but I don't know. But so far, I'm okay with this. Thank you for watching, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.